Hi again, guys. I thought I'd give you a quick update about my tour yesterday at the convent and what happened in the archives. So it was a beautiful day to be down there, and I met the tour group in the main courtyard right at the front of the big building. There's got this huge, beautiful liquid amber tree there, and the tour guide was this incredibly well-spoken woman who knew so much history about the convent, about the architecture. She knew about the religious ceremonies that the nuns had to undertake to be ordained into the church. She had a lot of knowledge to sort of pass on, which was really good. So we walked around and we saw where the orphanage and the school was, and then we went down to Rosina House, which is where the older women and the women that were there voluntarily were housed. So the dormitories were quite good sizes, and it's another really beautiful building. But then we went across to Sacred Heart, and Sacred Heart is where the women who were considered wayward were basically kind of imprisoned, I guess. They were considered fallen, I guess, for any reason, from sex work to just having a boyfriend that their parents didn't particularly like. It seemed to be quite indiscriminate the way people were put in there. So I've done a bit of sort of reading up on my history now, and in the late 19th century in Melbourne, because of the gold rush, a lot of the men were away, and it was really, really difficult for the women of Melbourne. So obviously prostitution became a massive issue, and that's actually why this order of nuns was brought from Ireland to Australia, was because they would deal with women that were considered to be fallen, because some nuns wouldn't. So I think, unfortunately, in the way of any kind of institution, that the convent kind of became a convenient place to put women that society just didn't want to deal with. So I think that a lot of women were unfairly imprisoned in this way, and added to that, in the laundries, in the Sacred Heart was the laundry, and they had to work up to sort of 50-hour weeks unpaid. They didn't get any education. They weren't allowed to sort of roam around or have any freedom. They were essentially locked in there, performing slave labour, which was the way that the convent made all of its money and sort of kept itself going. So it made sense to me why I had such a creepy vibe the first time I went down there, because a lot of people, I think, experienced a lot of suffering when they were there. And I guess it made me feel really sad at the thought that maybe my mum, had a really tough time there. I don't know that that's the case, but anyway, speaking of which, so I went to the archivist. He was really, really helpful, and I found out that, as you may have seen as my triumphant post yesterday, that I found that I have a grandmother, Brenda Boyne, and my mum was put in when she was 6. Apparently, it was just noted that the mother was unfit to care for her. So I guess I'll have to kind of work out what that means. There was no record of a grandfather, so that's still a bit of a mystery. But my mum was there for 11 years and then went to a nearby foster home, and she would have been nearly an adult by then, so I suppose she was out pretty quickly from that and out sort of into life. So that felt like a good starting point, and the archivist said that if he found any photos or anything like that, he would give me a call, which is great. And now I'm just going to start and actually try and trace Brenda Boyne and see where she's, see what, if I have ancestors on that side. So that's a really good start. So I'm feeling encouraged, even though it was, quite sad. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching, and I will be updating you really soon. Thanks.